Hi, I'm Mark from ifaDASH and welcome to our YouTube channel. Hi and welcome to this tutorial on the features of ifaDASH. So today we're going to focus on two areas of the dashboard: management information and reports. So let's get going. So management information, and it's really important to help shape the direction of travel of the business, but also what's going on in the business, where the exceptions are, and what the business needs to focus on. So within the MI section, we have a number of tabs, which starts with overview. And that in the overview, you've got what is actually deemed as a RAG system. So it turns red, amber, green, depending on the requirements of the business. So under paraplanning, it shows that there are 3 requests outside of the SLA. Now, not only does it say that these requests are sitting outside of the SLA, so you can manage that internally, but what's the value of those requests on both initial and recurring income streams? Second box is the advisor. So are advisors holding up the business somewhere? So once the business has been written internally, has the meeting taken place and the application's been sent off within a relevant time period that the business sets? If the answer is no, they sit in this box here. And in this case here, there's 17 outstanding requests that have been completed internally that just have not been submitted yet to the providers, and the value yet of these requests as well. And finally, the providers. So are providers holding up the payments towards your business? So that there's been submitted, the advisor has sent off the applications, and now you're waiting on the providers making their payments. So this is where this box comes into fruition. And again, it shows the value of the business that sits outside of the service level agreement that you've set. Now, each of those sit in a category below. Now, why are those particular categories important? Both paraplanning, advisors and providers are all the elements of what holds business up from the minute that it's submitted to the minute that it's paid. And we know in our industry that it can take quite some time for you to receive a final payment from the provider once a new piece of business has been submitted. So let's have a look at the detail here. So if you drill down, if you look at the paraplanning here, there are 2 paraplanners here that are holding business up, and you can actually drill down and see where that actual business is, and then you can open that actual piece of business up by clicking on the link. So you've got all the drill down areas to go from macro right through to micro detail. You have the same with the advisors, and you have the same with the providers. And trust me, the minute you start talking to providers, they don't like sitting at the top of this list. They don't like knowing that they've got outstanding fees. The next area on the MI is the advisor area, and that's the overview of the performance both on a previous week, current week, month, quarter and year to date versus last year. Then you look at the paraplanning. Now, what we do know about paraplanning is that it's all about capacity and how many pieces of business can a paraplanner physically deliver? And actually, at what point within the business do you see you're at stretching point and you need to employ somebody, or you're over recruiting and you've got too much headcount within the business? What this section shows you is the types of investment in progress by paraplanner or by type. So just on a basic pie chart. You've actually got your service level agreement, so the amount of cases, on average cases per month, and as you hover over, you can see on the prior month, and actually within SLA. So the SLAs that you set within the business, and again, against prior year. And you can actually look at, within SLA, you can actually look at the exception areas of which are over, and you can actually have a view of where those overages and unders are. So the average duration of how long it takes to do an average case size within your business against your average SLA. Now, each product type will have a variable SLA. So this is based on the average of the total. And then you've got how many cases are currently sitting outside the SLA, and you can actually have a look at those details as well. And then you've got your headline figures, your duration, your average duration against prior years, and then you can look at every individual paraplan. So you've got an overview, snapshot, and macro and micro detail of how your paraplanning service is working within your business. And then finally, you've got your new business elements. So this is a marketing tool. So when you put new business requests through, one of the key criteria is checking one of the boxes and using one of the drop downs of where the business comes from. It's mandatory on the new business section because it feeds this data here and actually feeds within your reporting section as well. So you can see this on a year, quarter, month and week basis, and you can see exactly where your business is coming from, but not only where your business is coming from, but what type of business is being conducted through each of those areas. Once again, all this is configurable within your configuration area. So you may decide that you don't want these templates that are set in within ifaDASH. You want to create your own, and that's absolutely fine. Within this as well, you've got how many requests, what the value is as assets, what the value is in fees, both initial and recurring. So you get a really good feel and a snapshot as a business to where your new business is coming from. The great thing about this as well is that you can set target areas. So you can decide as a business through yourselves where you want to direct some channels of where you're getting the maximum value, or you want to concentrate on specific areas. So now let's look at the reporting area. Now within the reporting area, you have three key tiers. You have your business summary, your T&C register, and your complaints register. Now, in all of these areas, you have some drop-down features. So within the business summary, you can decide to look at all the business data, or you can decide to look at specific business data, and actually, when do you want to look at it for? There's some set criteria within this. You can look at since the beginning of your business year. You can look at since the beginning of the month and the week, and actually you can set a custom date range as well as to when you want to have a look at this data. In this case, we're going to have a look at the full year, and we'll have a look at the business summary. So once you've run this report, it will appear with an actual table of contents, a full report, and alongside a scorecard. And within that scorecard, you've got a same RAG system that shows where your fees are today, whether it sits within a red, amber or green based on the target that you've set for the business. You've also got prior year, but what is also critically important is your work in progress. So this is business that's submitted and yet to be paid. So at least you've got an idea as to where that business is coming from. You've got a breakdown of employed and self-employed. You can look at individual advisor performance by employed, self-employed, fee types, recurring fees, assets under management, all the transactions across the business, your sources of business as well. So, and actually looking at all your exception reporting, complaints, file checks, etc., and advisor activity. So you actually get a full business report when looking at this section. So let's go back and look at the T&C register. The benefit of this report is it shows the business, the owners, and the compliance service exactly where each of your registered individuals sit at in terms of their reviews, their rating, their risk, and their CPD. And the benefit here, because it's on a RAG-based system, is that really what you're looking for is all the red areas, and actually, are we short? Are we missing anything? And do they need to be investigated? And finally, you've got a complaints register, which will export into a CSV format. So you can actually look at all the complaints by advisor and by individual. That also shows on the business summary report, but this is a very specific one directly for complaints. In summary, you now have a full MI and a reporting system based on the data that gets fed into ifaDASH as well as the data that you process within ifaDASH to compile all of your management information, all your reports, which enable you to not only fulfill your regulatory requirements, but also to shape and steer the directional flow of your business and your cost management, your control of business, your direction of flow, your opportunities area, and where you really want to take the business moving forward. So I hope that helps. Once again, thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you like what you see, click the subscribe button for more videos.